2025 is upon us, and for many people, that means setting goals and making plans to achieve those goals. If it's in your plans to make at least 6 figures from an online course in 2025, especially if you're just getting started, then today's episode is for you. I've been doing this for nearly 12 years and have brought in several $1 million from courses. But if I had to start over in 2025, I'll share with you exactly the steps I would take to nearly guarantee my success. You're listening to the Online Course Show, where we dive deep into the strategies and tools that help online course creators build thriving businesses. I'm Jacques Hopkins, and I've built a wildly successful online course business teaching piano, and I'm here to share the lessons I've learned along the way. Stick around. This episode could be the key to launching your own highly profitable course business in 2025. So back in 2013, I had the idea for my first online course, a piano course. I just knew this could be my ticket to everything that I was looking for. Job freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, but it wasn't easy. It took me about 8 months to create my course, working on it in my spare time after my full-time job as an electrical engineer. Finally, the day came, it was ready, it went live, and I made exactly 0 sales. I was frustrated, and it felt like yet another failure in my life. All the dreams that I had, traveling whenever I wanted, spending more time with my family and friends, and pursuing hobbies I enjoyed, suddenly felt like they were slipping away. And as it turns out, it wasn't as easy as if you build it, they will come. The problem is that I had built a course, but not a course business. And this is exactly why most people fail too. Because as a course creator, we have this idea for something that we could share, this knowledge inside of us that we know other people could benefit from. We share this information. And so we go immediately to putting that information together. We package it up into the form of an online course, and we ignore or neglect all the other components that are just as important, if not more important, like marketing and sales funnels and putting together a really compelling offer and getting people to leave us transformation-based testimonials, and so on. When I first launched my course, I didn't have very much traffic. I didn't have a sales funnel. I didn't even have a compelling offer. I just had a course that no one really knew existed. You likely have something amazing to teach and share, but unless you know the formula for building a successful online course business, you won't make the impact that you want or the income that you're looking for. Sometimes it's just one missing piece that's holding you back. And that's why so many people fail. They don't have all the pieces in place. Now, let's talk about what success actually looks like. There's not much more I'm passionate about than online courses at this point. You probably know I host this show, the Online Course Show. My online course business has completely changed my life and the life of my family. And when I launched my piano course almost 12 years ago now, it was far from an instant success, like I was saying. But that's when I started learning what works, what doesn't, and how to improve. 7 years ago, I started this very podcast because it was the resource that I wished that I had. I wanted to hear from course creators in every niche, from all backgrounds, ages, and locations. I wanted specific strategies on running online course business. I wanted to know where the businesses failed, what worked, and then what motivates them. This podcast has led to incredible relationships and continuous learning for me. And I'll be honest, in the first few years, it didn't make much money at all. It was simply something that I enjoyed doing. But today it does generate a good amount of money, and it does that in 2 ways. First of all, through affiliate and sponsorship deals with tools I use for my course business, like Kajabi, Deadline Funnel, Active Campaign, and many others, and through my coaching programs, Genesis Courses and Next Level Coaching. Next Level Coaching is for course creators already making some sales and looking to scale and dial in their systems. And Genesis is for beginners looking to launch their first profitable course. Today, I'm going to share with you the exact path to success we walk our Genesis clients through. So if you're looking to build a profitable course business in 2025, you can. And sure, you might want some additional help beyond this one podcast episode. And if that's the case, you may want to consider joining Genesis yourself in the new year. But either way, I'm bringing the value today. So here we go. Here's the roadmap to go from absolute beginner to 6-figure course business. The first step in this process is all about mindset, and specifically shifting to the mindset of being a creator instead of just a consumer. Most of us spend the majority of time consuming. We watch YouTube videos, we read books, take courses, we binge Netflix, or we get sucked into TikTok. But most of us aren't creating on those platforms. Putting yourself out there for the world to see can be intimidating. When I first started, I was terrified to show my face on camera. I was worried what my friends or coworkers would think if they found my videos, and that's why my very first videos only showed my hands on the piano. Most people who see your content will admire what you're doing, and those who don't, they're often just jealous because you're out there making an impact, or at least trying to make an impact and putting stuff out there. You're creating content instead of just consuming it, and that is just so incredibly cool. And when you're first getting started putting yourself out there, I'll be honest, you're not going to be very good. And that's okay because not many people are going to be listening at first. So you have an opportunity to work on it, work on your messaging, on your presentation, on your skills in creating content while not many people are listening. And hopefully by the time that people start watching and listening to you, you've dialed in what you're doing and you're so much better at it. Once you've embraced the mindset of a creator, the next step is to nail your niche. Some of you may already have a general idea of your niche. Maybe it's teaching guitar or cooking. That's a great start, but it's still too broad. From there, you need to get more specific. Who exactly are you helping? What specific outcome are you helping them achieve? For example, your course should eventually guide your ideal audience step by step to a desired dream outcome. But to design that, you need to first understand who your audience is, their pain points, and why they haven't yet achieved their goal. The clearer and more specific you get here, the better your course will be. Think of real people you've helped in this area already or real people that you know you could help in this area. And then we take this whole niche thing a step further in step 3. This is where you really start to differentiate yourself with your what I call special sauce. It's like a fast food chain that started here in my hometown in Baton Rouge. It's called Raising Cane's. You may have heard of it. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's the fastest growing fast food chain out there. Their menu is super simple. Chicken fingers, fries, toast, coleslaw, and then they have their special sauce. But here's the thing. You can get chicken fingers anywhere, all over the world. When we were in France this past summer, in this tiny beach town, there was this little shack selling drinks and food. And yes, they had chicken fingers. It's not exactly a rare item. So why is Raising Cane's so popular when one of the main things they have is chicken fingers in such a limited menu? And why is it growing so fast? It's because of their sauce. It's because of their special sauce. You can dip the chicken fingers in it. You can dip the fries in it. And yes, you can even dip the bread into it or really anything else. It's just truly amazing sauce that is very hard to replicate. And if you just eat their chicken fingers by themselves, they're fine, but they're not special alone. It's the special sauce that makes Raising Cane's so popular and so successful and why it's growing so rapidly. If you're creating an online course, you can't just sell everyone chicken fingers. Everyone sells chicken fingers. You need to figure out your special sauce. For Piano in 21 Days, my special sauce is my 5-step song learning process. Most people struggle with learning songs because sheet music is hard. And even if you know how to read sheet music, it takes forever to learn a new song with sheet music. Instead, I show people how to forget the sheet music and learn songs in minutes, not months. And that is my special sauce. For this brand, the Online Course Guy, my special sauce is the online course business formula. I've simplified the process and focused on the core components you need to succeed with an online course business. And it's not just the course, it's all the components you need to have a profitable actual business. And that's largely what we're going over today. Your special sauce is what makes you different. It's what draws people to you, not just for the chicken fingers, but for the unique way that you help them get to their dream outcome. Next, let's talk about building your audience. The best way to do this is with content marketing, putting free content out there on social media, a blog, a podcast, YouTube, and so on. Most aspiring course creators should start here because content marketing builds an audience and creates trust, which leads to long-term success. Now, short form platforms like Instagram and TikTok are great for getting started. They're easier to break into and you can see results faster. But keep in mind the results on those platforms can be the most fleeting as well. A viral TikTok video might drive traffic to your site for a little while, but that traffic doesn't last long. On the other hand, platforms like YouTube, blogs, or podcasts can give you long-term results. For example, I made a YouTube video 5 years ago called Learn Piano in 4 Minutes. It has over 3 million views now and still brings in 5 figures a month in course sales to my business. That's the kind of long-term impact you can get from evergreen content. If you're just starting out, try short-form platforms to learn and get comfortable creating content. Then once you've found your rhythm, you can branch out to more sustainable platforms for longer-lasting results. From here, it's time to design your course. Notice I said design it, not create it just yet. The goal is to outline the exact process you'll walk someone through to get them from where they are to where they want to be. I like to do this with old school style post-it notes. Just get out a Surface and your post-it notes and start laying out what those exact steps are that somebody needs to go through. On one side of the table, write the name of someone you imagine taking your course, someone who could benefit from it. Then on the other side, write down their desired outcome. Then you brainstorm all those steps it would take to get them from where they are to that outcome. This process helps you organize your ideas into modules, lessons, and categories. It also sparks ideas for content marketing and starts to shape the structure of your course. Next, you need to craft what's called an irresistible offer. Your offer isn't just your course. It's the outcome, the bonuses, the guarantees, and the urgency. It's the pricing, it's the naming A good offer makes people feel like they'd be crazy to say no. Focus on the transformation you're providing and not the features of your course. Now here's where you run into a bit of a choice. Now that you've laid a solid foundation and hopefully you're starting to get a small following, you can either launch an offer to teach your curriculum to a small group of people live, I call this a bootcamp, or you can move forward and build a webinar funnel and build out your course and launch it. So for step 7, I'll call it the bootcamp, but you can skip this step if you're not interested. But boot camps can be so powerful, especially when you're first launching. You have them apply to it, and the main thing that they're getting is group sessions with you on Zoom where you're teaching your curriculum. So you really don't have to do much ahead of time, and this also allows you to steer the ship as you go. You can literally just stay one session ahead of your group, and you don't have to have the entire thing fully planned out. You can base the direction you go on the needs and questions of those in the group, and this gets you working with real people, solving real problems, and getting real results. And you will make such a better course down the road for having done this first. Many of the clients that I work with inside of Genesis courses do choose this route because it's so powerful. Jim is an example of someone in Genesis, and he recently launched his first bootcamp. Here's some of the things he had to say. He said, "The bootcamp idea is paying off big time, and I'm only 3 weeks in. I am so freaking happy I'm doing this approach because it's the first time I feel that now I'm creating a course I will be comfortable selling at a high price. The reason is because I am now sure that people will find it super useful and actionable." The bootcamp has given Jim the confidence that his first program will be absolutely amazing and setting up his course business from the start with an extremely solid foundation. The next step is to build out your course and your sales funnel. I don't care which of these you do first, but you do need both. The course one is a little more straightforward, so I'll spend most of my time in the part talking about the sales funnel because many people don't know what that is. A sales funnel simply works to convert people into buyers. It builds trust and rapport, it gives value, it breaks down objections. Simply put, it wins over people's hearts. People won't buy from you unless you have won 3 things of theirs: their eyes, their hearts, and their wallets. Many people skip the hard part. Just because people find you get their eyeballs, doesn't mean you need to immediately present your offer and ask them to open their wallets. They won't do that if you haven't won over their hearts first. And that's exactly what the sales funnel does. My favorite type of sales funnel is an evergreen webinar funnel. The webinar is a roughly 1-hour video on a page that does this really, really well. It teaches, it gives value, and it breaks down false beliefs. And when done well, it gets people actually saying yes to your offer. By this point, you'll have everything you need to make an incredible course business that truly helps people. You launch everything, you continue to get market feedback and make updates where necessary. That's how to go from nothing to a fully operational, profitable online course business. I hope you found this episode valuable. If you want help from me and my team in 2025 to make this whole process easier and faster, we have a special deal coming up. You can head to oc.show/Genesis right now and learn all about our beginner program and apply. But coming up on December 30th and ending on January 2nd, you'll be able to get in at a nice discount and some special bonuses. This is our heading into 2025 offer that you won't want to miss. And I know some of you listening to this or watching this already have a course business that is making some sales and you're looking to scale, you're looking to automate, inject systems that make your life and business easier. Then you would be a fit for our program Next Level Coaching. And we do have a similar deal for that coming up with the same dates as well. So stay tuned to this podcast into your inbox because you won't want to miss what we have coming on December 26th. If you're not on the email list, make sure you head over to theonlinecourseguy.com and sign up so you'll get our email announcements, but we'll also be announcing it here on the podcast. Thanks again for listening. Don't forget to take action on what you've heard today. I'm rooting for you, and we're going to go ahead and close this episode with a few kind words that members of our Genesis program have said about the program.
Hi, I'm Susan Osborne with the Bookkeeper Society, and I signed up for the Genesis courses of 2022. And at that time when I signed up, I knew I had an idea for a course teaching bookkeeping, and I needed a little bit of direction. I needed a little bit of strategy, and I had the idea swirling in my brain for a couple years, actually. And then I signed up for Jacques' course, and I thought, this is what I need. I actually found out about Jacques through his podcast, and I heard him interview somebody, and And I got really inspired by that. And so that interview just made me go to his website. I signed up right away for his Genesis course, and it was a year-long program. And when I started, I literally had nothing. I mean, I had a website and I had a small list, about 200 people, that was pretty cold at that point. I had all these puzzle pieces. I just didn't know really how to put them all together. So the Genesis course and Jacques I just really like his style, his laid back. He's very smart. Just his energy is good, and I love that he's done this himself. And so he walks the walk, talks the talk. So when I signed up for the courses, he has the Genesis course, he has a questionnaire that asks you, what is your goal for the next 12 months? And I wrote down that I wanted to have a business that I could work on 10 to 20 hours a week that brought in 5 figures a month, at least $20,000 a month, I think I put. And honest to goodness, a year later, I had that. And a lot of that is thanks to the Genesis courses and Jacques and his kind of support. And it's just really helpful to be around other people doing the same thing, because this is a hard business, because most people don't understand it. Most of the people around you, your family and friends, can't relate to what you're doing. So it's really nice to have that community. And I definitely had that in the Genesis program. And what I learned in that program was just how to put, a training video together piece by piece. And there was lots of examples in there. And it just was really helpful to help me take step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and actually build something. And that's what I did. And I really appreciated the feedback that Jacques gave me on my training course, on my, my free training. And he just gave a lot of good feedback and just was really helpful throughout the process. And so were the other members of the Genesis course as well. So I just really appreciated the experience. And I don't think I would honestly can say I don't think I'd be here without it. So thank you, Jacques.
Hello, my name is Aaron, and I joined Jacques' course about 12 months ago. And best decision that I've ever made. Initially, I was a little bit skeptical. I thought it was just another one of those, sell you the dream and then nothing actually happens, lock you into this, this contract, and then, you just regret it and want to leave. But this is definitely not that. The support is unbelievable, and the way that the courses are laid out, the information is it's so necessary for this sort of business, to start in an online course. It's been absolutely life-changing for my business, so couldn't have done it without you and the course, so I really appreciate that. Just to go over some numbers, what you could expect, with, the possibilities, right? Within 3 to 4 months, I did my first $10,000 month. And then after that, it's been pretty consistent and only growing since. So I'm in quite a very niche market as well with teaching people how to start car detailing businesses. So very niche specific, but the way that Jacques teaches it, you can reach your target audience. No matter who you are, really, there is an audience out there specifically for you that are going to buy your product and use your business. So I want to thank you, Jacques, and the team, Renato as well. Again, this has just been absolutely life-changing for me, and couldn't have done it without you. So yeah, we'll talk soon. Thanks again.
I was in a really hard place with my business. I had been struggling for 2 or so years trying to create a course. Before working with Jacques, I'd made maybe 2 sales in my course, and I really didn't know the steps I needed to be taking in order to make my business successful. But I really just felt really misguided, and I felt like I just didn't know what I was doing. And Jacques helped me clarify and actually rename and sort of rebrand my business so that it was clear. He helped me create a bootcamp and then also provide testimonials to me for my course to then use in my sales copy, in my webinar. And that was incredibly helpful to springboard off from. He also helped me create all of the sales funnel for my course was incredibly helpful. And so I have a really dialed in webinar that has led to sales for my course. I have a small audience, but I have a really engaged audience who purchases my courses. And I think the next step is really just growing the audience. And with that, I think that the sales will continue to grow. And that is in a huge part due to Jacques and his one-on-one guidance. If I could go back and do it again, I wish I would have worked with Jacques right away and saved myself 6 months of time and stress and headache. He is incredible. His whole team is. The other members of the cohort of OCG are so friendly, so knowledgeable in their own course businesses, and I have learned so much.
I first started listening to the online course show, and I knew I wanted to do an online course business. But like so many of Jacques' listeners, I tried doing things my way, But at the end of the day, I didn't even have a fully functional website, and I knew I needed his help. I signed up as his first Genesis course member, and Jacques walked me through step by step everything I had to do to not only have a functional online course, but an online course business. Working together, he took me from absolutely no revenue per month to over $10,000 per month. He covered everything I needed to know: traffic, my funnels, my emails, templates for everything I needed to do, how to run my business, and so much more. I know that without Jacques' help, I would be nowhere near where I am right now. In under 2 years, I'm over 5 figures per month. I'm growing on multiple channels. I have a huge brand that's really well known in my niche. And I just can't say enough good things about Jacques, his team, and everything that Next Level Courses and Genesis Courses bring. His program has given me so much one-on-one help and actually helped me network with so many other course creators that I've continued to learn both in and out of the program. I have no plans to stop, and even though my 2-year renewal is done now, I plan to continue to work with Jacques because he knows how to keep growing my business, and he's seen 5 steps ahead of me already, and I know he's the fastest way to achieve whatever goal you have right now with your online course business. Again, if you're on the fence, I wholeheartedly support go with Jacques. He cares, he knows what he's doing, and he gets you results.